Bwahahaha. My name is Amy2 and welcome back to Talk to Transformer. So, I don't have much time, so I'll do this quickly. So, Amy2 hopped into the back of Moon's car. Are you kidding me? Another one! Amy2 hopped into the back of Moon's car, pulled the shorter sister into the back and hugged the girl tightly. She slid Moon's car up the hill, through the thick trunk lines, excuse me, what? And onto the grounds of the sprawling, what? Solid black ocean. Ruby had always told her not to look into the eyes of monsters. But Amber had taken it a step further. That one day, Ruby would be staring into these eyes, telling her secrets, shedding light upon the dark. And Amber had sworn to make a more grandiose idea of herself once she saw the light. After that, nothing would be the same again. The forest with the moon smelled of dark forests. Long pines, cedars, and moss. The silence was eerie. Okay, that one was great. The first one, and we're already off to an amazing start. Moon was gonna drive the downhill against an R32. What is this? Moon was gonna drive the downhill against a fast car, and it happened to be him. Like, boy, that really worked. I should have written that. Oh my gosh. I didn't think that it's just about the absolute ownership of riding a bike. It's about the quality of riding a bike, said Carcross. Carcross. That's a name? Do you have your helmet on and your hands on the bars the whole time? Are you in control? That's what makes a cool bike. I do see a lot of people who are intimidated by a skinnier bike, or who are scared of going slower. But it's like a hammer thrown to the max on a nail to get the job. Excuse me, what? And that can be intimidating to someone who's never hit one. Oh man. I don't know about you, but I was never intimidated by hammering a nail with a hammer. Sledder was watching Moon race. Sledder was watching Moon race, and he could be seen occasionally changing direction from red to blue to black, a pattern that he would repeat. During the race, Berlier became distracted and crashed into the Nissan. What? What Nissan? Oh, these are the racers. Berlier, which is apparently a racer in there. How many cars were in that race? Became distracted, and I'm pretty sure that there's at least 3 people in this race apparently, because Moon doesn't drive a Nissan. And yeah. Ballard says the main question is whether his design was simply out of sync with the racing tactic, or whether it was deliberately intentionally blocked by the checkered flag. Excuse me? Ballard said anyone in the industry who is someone who uses a GPS can understand the importance of the accuracy of the measurement. That was pretty nonsensical. Big Boy and Buddy were adjusting their spaceship's engines. Big Boy and Buddy were adjusting their spaceship's engines. It's cool to see the flight computer click on the correct frequency, Manny said. Flight computer, eh? Then we'll have to bring that one back home and practice it, okay? Heh. Don't worry, just keep quiet. Jeez, Buddy shrugged. They were already quite close to Earth and the lunar horizon, where the where the engines abruptly shut down. The princesses were appalled. Manny and Buddy were stunned. Manny realized that something was wrong. You mean you didn't know? What the hell is wrong with these engines? Manny whispered. That's not a whisper, it's got an exclamation point. We can't go back to the ground. We're going to the ground, Buddy screamed. We're going back. Amy, too, was checking the boiler of her steam car. Amy, too, was checking the boiler of her steam car and paused. On her left was her own car. It was headed out at full speed through the long canyon to the south toward the river. For the first time that day, Lana was alone. She'd spent hours poring over maps and schedules, asking enough questions to tire even the brightest of her engineers. She has her own engineers. She'd watched the first hours of and after the first solar flare, tracking each station and its scientists. She'd listened to their personal histories and fears. Excuse me, what? Why are you tapping into the personal lives of these scientists? She knew that Carissa, her sister, had started out on her own as a whatever that says, on the southern side. Then at dawn she had crossed to the northern side with the smallest crew possible. A handful of men and women with not much more than bare necessities. How'd this go from a steam car to this? Moon teleported to the world of initial D. Okay, this is good. The fact that it says spoiler warning in this is hilarious. Moon teleported to the world of Initial D and raced against the Iris player to finish a stage. Spoiler warning, which there's no spoiler obviously. This article may contain a major plot or ending details. Boko was a taxi driver who lived with his elderly mother in the Kingdom of Kingdom. His mother loved his father, so in the third world, the two tried to work together to care for their family. When the trio, Tatsuya, Kakuyin, and Wataru, were invited to the 13 Flowers Festival. Excuse me, what is that? They went to live with him. He became very supportive of the four, having convinced them to accept the invitations. When the five arrived, I thought there were four. When the five arrived at the festival, they were shocked to find that the festival was at the Noble House where ... How'd this go from Initial D to that? Sledder was sharpening his sword. The same one he used against the shark. Sledder was sharpening his sword, the same one he used against the shark. Get this blood of mine on your blade, because I won't be able to handle that if you've ended my life unless you have some special type of magic that lets you do that. What is this? The girl shark opened its mouth wide as it collapsed. It was a mess of an attack, that's for sure. When I think of your beautiful eyes, I just think of a handsome prince, Grandpa snorted. That was Grandpa is talking. What? Why don't you just have your sons take care of me? Randy said angrily. He must have known that whatever solution the sharks had was coming, because he wasn't giving up. Oh, come now. ... I'm going to try that one again. See what else it comes up. Sledder was sharpening his sword, the same one he used against the shark. Then he heard a noise, and the flesh on the weapon bounced off the floor. Excuse me, what? When he turned around, he saw the trap door being opened from the outside. Excuse me. But before Sledder could pull out his sword, he heard another loud noise. The suitcases were suddenly being dragged back into the water. What? But Sledder wasn't moving at all. They grabbed me. I was trying to get out, Sledder said. I got down and tried to push them away, and they were pulling on my ankles, pulling on my wrists. About 5 seconds passed, and Sledder was able to get his gun back on a fire and fire around into the air. Well, that was useless. Seconds later, he saw ... You know, this one's so good, I'm going to try it even again. What is this? This is even better. Sledder was sharpening his sword, the same one he used against the shark, and aimed it at the kids, who were frantically trying to help him. Once it's dead, that's when you can call for medics, the shark said. No, 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 the kids cried, trying to stifle their crying. It's still alive, it's still alive. They tugged at Sledder's sword, as if to cut it off. We can't lose you. It can't live forever, the shark said. But we can spend a while. Go on ahead and get him to the hospital. That'll be a big help. The kids turned around. ... So this time it was the shark that was... Sledder was sharpening his sword, the same one he used against the shark, when one of his teeth snapped. Wait, don't do that! A voice shouted from behind him. He turned and saw Aladdin standing before him, holding a knife. Excuse me, Aladdin? Sledder tried to retract the edge of his sword, but it wouldn't budge. Wait just a moment, he called to the top of his lungs. He called to the top of his lungs. What? What is it, Aladdin? You hit my teeth, Aladdin responded. His face an ice blue. Sledder grimaced. I'm afraid I did. I'm sorry, kid. Aladdin sighed and scratched his head. Why was Aladdin in this? Big boy and buddy figured out how to give their spaceship unlimited power. Big Boy and Buddy figured out how to give their ship unlimited power in exchange for the life of one of their friends. Excuse me? By activating a feature of the spacecraft called a super rocket. This super rocket turned out to be slightly unreliable, and NASA wasn't too pleased about it. NASA. They're not even... Big Boy and Buddy aren't even part of NASA. For whatever reason, Buddy was an imperious youth. Excuse me, what? Was able to convince his father to cut him a good deal. So long as he passed his pilot test, Buddy could keep a portion of the spacecraft's seed energy reserves, which he could access from time to time. However, in exchange for the technology, Buddy had to give up his good friend's life. This became the reason why his father banned him from the space race. But the run was eventually won and the ... Yeah, I agree with his father. Big Boy and Buddy figured out how to give their spaceship unlimited power. They also think they could turn me into dinner. Hell, I'm giving them time to see how they like it. Oh boy. What in the world? Meld is tiring. He is pushing it, and he can't help but miss Meld's silly jokes. There are so many you can't even begin to count them. That is, Meld will carry your lifeless body to the home front one last time. Excuse me, what? They will strip my decomposing body, and everyone will pay tribute. Excuse me, what the hell is this? You will all, without fail, be buried alongside the Jacobs Club, by the dozen, with a $1 million ceremonial shilling paid for by your own mansions. Or we will ... This one was really morbid. First, someone's trying to turn somebody into dinner. And then it's this weird, like, decomposing body thing. What is this? Big Boy and Buddy figured out how to give their spaceship unlimited power, if not unlimited speed. Capable or disabled was a deciding factor, as was the amount of power. But of course, the more power they were, the greater the attack power. If you remember the car movie, Watchmen, excuse me, what? Capable Bruce Wayne had access to Death Machine, excuse me, what? And a bigger bomb than any other guy in the film. Death Machine had been deactivated and surrendered in New York City. Besides capable, he was a physically stronger guy. While Buddy was just a level 70 bald-headed human who was more than twice as fast as Batman. Excuse me, what? But the difference between them was the lack of physical strength. Batman needed to use his powers to keep up with capable. Not ... What did Batman have to do with anything in this? But anyway, I'm gonna have to end this video here. If you liked it, subscribe, and I will see you. You better like as well. If you subscribe, you better like. Well, you don't have to, but whatever. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.